Hello and welcome to a new project, a new episode. We had a small break, but now we are back. And hello Tineke, welcome to the chat and to the stream. Hope everybody is doing okay, amazing, and welcome John Remmermans with his subscription. Thank you, it's really appreciated. Let's give him some hype. Good luck with your exams learning today, John. And hope everybody has a good evening. We're starting a new project. So I already created a GitHub page. You can go to topdev/topfood for the people that like to see it. I made a color scheme that I want to use and a small architecture image. It's for now it's small, but and welcome Tessis. How is it going this night? But it's really small for now. Maybe we'll add other stuff later. This isn't yet, but this is gonna be after field streams. This is gonna be the ID. Just a Blazor Wasm app that talks to an API written in ASP.NET Core, and that talks to the Azure SQL database or SQL Express on my local machine. So these are the colors. I don't have a very good theory about them, but I just like them. And those are like between this is like the background color. This is gonna be the primary and this is the secondary. For the rest, we have a milestone. We have two, we have users. And the recipe page, this is more. This is also something we want to start working on in the first stream. But this is the main recipe page. For the start, we're just gonna use the Blazor without any API. And then when we have the first page, we gonna start working on creating an API for it and saving everything in the database. So this page contains about a few things. A default main card with the image of the recipe, a description and a title, and a like button. Not everything is the correct size, but yeah, we can change it a little bit, but this is the general ID. For the rest, here you can rate this recipe and see what other people rated it. Change the serving size, so it automatically changes the calories and stuff. And the ingredients also should be automatically created when you change the serving size. So if you make this 6, this should be 750, etc. For the rest, the tools, the steps, like a small profile picture, and other cards from the user and similar recipes. Tessie asked what I used to make the wireframes. I used... Very good question. Let me see. I did it, most of it I did yesterday, but I can't remember it at this very moment. Let me scroll back to yesterday. Give me a quick second. It's an online tool. Oh, I should look for yesterday. Here it is. Figma. So I use this tool. You can just create an account. I'm not sure what you can do with the free one, but you can do a lot. I just use the free one. And you can basically create different frames and also have other frames because the frame is in here. You can just zoom in and don't display stuff. I, for some reason, have a grid turned on. I'm not a pro for this site, but you can just resize them, change text, group them. It was a really easy tool. I used a lot of them also for school and stuff. This is really easy to create a really nice design, and can make like rectangles. Those are mostly rectangles, images, stars. For example, for this heart, I added a plugin called Iconly, and then you get a new page, and you can just like select something. It's not the icon you're gonna use, but it's nice to see that we want a heart here. So basically this, I can also share it with you guys. Copy. If you want to see it, if you have any feedback, also let me know. If you have any ideas. So that is the main part for the wireframes. And for the rest, we have a backlog with all the items. I believe most of them are in order. Yeah, most of them are in order. I also added a few to the first current stream planning. So you can also see what we want to do this stream. I'm not saying I'm gonna make it, and if we pause it and we have plenty of time, we'll just grab something new. But that's the main idea. If you have any ideas, feel free to ask. And if you have any questions, also just ask. Also welcome base EFs and major error. Also gonna do this. Not sure what it exactly does, but you're a lot here and have a lot of feedback, so that's really appreciated. So let's make you guys FIP. So yeah, I already cloned my solution here. And now, not new file. But we're just gonna create a new project in here. I also have a logo designed through Fiverr. This time I'm not gonna make it myself. They're working on it. I had a preview. Maybe I'll show that at the end of stream. And next stream it should be done. So we're gonna create a new Blazor project. Blazor web assembly. We're just gonna call it Thop.Blazor. Create new solution. And this is not gonna be in. Select folder. Place solution and the No, I don't like that. Next. Configure HTTPS. No, I want .NET 5. For now, we're not gonna use an authentication type. We're gonna use that later. I do want the HTTPS, and I also want a progressive web app. Oh, that's not very good. Uh-oh. Damn it, that's not good. Yeah. Back to the terminal window and .NET New. That's a really good option. I do not know the commands out of my head, but we can look it up. Blazor.net. Getting started. Let's get started. .NET. Yeah, I already have one. Why would you? Never mind. Yeah, but where are all the .NET new Blazor? Oh, I want all the commands. Where is it right now? Thank you, Tessie. I never really need to use the command line for this, but hey. Never mind. I should go to the correct folder. Top dev. Top foot. Say less. Let's see if this works. It looks like it. Very good. New project. No. Top dev, top foot. Let's hope this works. Also, something we want to do is git ignore. There was a site for that. Gitignore.io. Okay, it's changed probably. C# is Blazor one, no. Visual Studio. ReSharper is also not one. No, we should be fine. So then we just go in our project, create a new file, but that's not gonna work. I'm just gonna open Visual Studio Code here. And I cannot write git ignore. But the reason I did it in here instead of in the other one is that the Windows doesn't allow you to create files like that through the Explorer Git. Yeah. Now this looks already better. I am wondering why this doesn't load up. Let's close this. Let's just double click. Very good. It is loading. No, I don't want to update Visual Studio during a stream. And let's see what we have. So I like to use Visual or fork for to check our Git, but I need to resize it. I see like this, but we also want to run it. And we're just gonna run the project once. Let's see what it contains. Tess, how are you doing? What? It's a good day today. Maybe you can run it through IIS Express. Filter launch deduct adapter. Additional information rate will available in the output. Let's see if that works. That does work, thank you. So we just created a really easy app. We'll be looking at adding the default the debug, but yeah, for now this works fine. See, Hansen, sorry. Hey folks, what are you working on? We're creating a new app. If you check the GitHub page, topdev/topfood, You can see some color paintings and some architecture, but really small. But we also have some issues with some screen of our wireframes. But today we're just adding the main project. We're gonna add MudBlazor. MudBlazor, a recipe title card and a recipe card. Let me see the milestone here. Wait, doesn't it have a milestone? Let's do it like this. So basically we're gonna start working on this one. And this main card. How is it going, Egil? Is that you didn't stream today? Feeling more awake now? What are you using for wireframes? Very good question. And I already... Figma. So you can just select all your pages and throw them somewhere and lock them, display them, change the place. You have a lot of options. Makes it really easy to make sort of look good. I'm not a designer. Never will claim that I am, but I also don't know why the grid is there, but I think it kind of looks good. No, kid kept me up last night, so just getting through the day until bedtime arise again. Can imagine. So, the default Blazor project for the people that are newer have 3 pages. This is displaying some JSON. A counter. This is done without JavaScript. And yeah, just with C#, so that's really nice. And a home page. We can remove most of it. I don't have kids, so my sleep sometimes isn't that good, but probably better than if you have a kid to take care of. Can imagine. We created the default Blazor app. It has some launch settings. That's all fine. You can see the index page, the fetch page, and the Blazor page. The main layout. We're gonna remove most of it in the next one, so that is totally fine. This one can be discard. This one can be stage, edit, git, ignore. And let's also let's push the git ignore. And let's see that go to our GitHub page and try to work somewhat nicely so other people can also see what stage we are on. So I'll call this number 1. And we create a new branch from this one. So I really like to just have the number of the use story and then the short description, and then we're gonna check it out, and that all looks very good. No weird files. Initialize the Blazor project, and let's also commit that and push that. For now, the user store is really small, but in the future they're gonna be a little bit bigger, so that's better. I should stop running the application. And now I want to merge it back. Normally you would create a PR, but I'm working alone, so there's no one telling me what to do. So the second one is gonna be MudBlazor. And we want to add MudBlazor, the default UI. We're gonna follow the installation guide. Doesn't seem too hard. And we also wanna initialize the main layout. I was thinking about the top app bar with clipped drawer, and also apply some default colors that I chose. That's really easy. So let's get started working on that. First off, let's create a new branch for that based on main MudBlazor. And then go to the installation guide. So the first step is .NET add package MudBlazor. So we're gonna go into our main Blazor project and run this. And this is gonna add the package for us. And it seems like everything worked fine. If you don't like the command line, you can also go to the NuGet's package manager and search MudBlazor. Like here, and install it. But we can just use the command line. It uses the same way. So the second step is going to our imports. So as you can see here, we have a few different folders. Properties contains your launch settings. You're probably never gonna touch that. We have the pages. So this is the index page. Like you saw before, the fetch data and the counter. There's a shared with the main layout, the nav and the survey prompt. So these are shared and can be reused. You have your www root. Like you normally know from every ASP.NET Core application, we have a favicon, an icon, index HTML. So this is actually loading in our Blazor application. So it's very important that every project uses this one. This is some default stuff. The title, we probably want to rename this to Top Foods. And it loads in the Bootstrap. We are gonna remove that pretty soon. It uses the our app.css. Top. This looks a little bit weird, and he doesn't know how to find this. But this basically allows us to have isolated CSS. And then we can have, for example, navmenu.razor has its own CSS. So that only gets loaded for that component and not for the rest. So that's really a useful tool. Also, Egil says, speaking of that, have a good stream. Gotta get to the kids. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. And I hope you sleep better tonight. Yeah, for the rest, there's like a default loading one. Something for your errors. There's this loads your JavaScript for the WebAssembly. This is very important, otherwise your Blazor won't work. And you have script tagged because we thought it that we wanted a PWA. So if we now we could show that very quickly. Now you see here open with, and now we don't, well, we're still using Chrome, but it caches everything, and it allows us to be really fast, and maybe even make it offline. So that's basically your index. Yep. And this is the manifest. It's pretty small. For the rest, you have your imports. You basically, I never change those, but you do need to add them. If you have, for instance, another library. So we're gonna add the using here for the MudBlazor. And if you want a different folder that is not in pages or shared or pages. And you have your MudBlazor. Some default stuff for the routing. And you have your programming. Here you have like the HTTP client, your services, and all the other stuff that you might want to use. So let's go to the imports.razor and let's see. They told us to using MudBlazor. So that's pretty quick. Add the following HTML index or so if we check those lines, the first one is gonna load Roboto from Google Fonts, and it's gonna use the sizes or the weights. I'm not really sure what this is, but 300, 400, 500, and 700. And we're gonna use the CSS from MudBlazor. So just go to the index.html and we can remove the Blazor or not the Blazor one, the Bootstrap one. So we're not gonna use that one. In the HTML body section, add this. So let's add it here. I think it should be loaded after the WebAssembly. So that is the most important part, and before the PWA, that's a little bit less important. So we are using Blazor WebAssembly. So we should look at this one. Add the following to our program. I think we already have this. Yes, we do. So basically we need to add services that admit services. Seems easy enough. And they have some default pages like the Mud Team Provider, dialog, and the snack bar. So this needs to go in our main layout. I'm not sure where. Now build your project. If you didn't get any errors, you're good to go. Let's hope. Also, welcome, Martin. How is it going this night? And Holy Saint John, welcome to the stream. It seems everything works. If we win it, you will probably see that. Let me see. A lot still works, but it kind of looks weird. Because Bootstrap is not loaded in anymore. You thought you were incognito. Never. I know everything. So that was the main part for the building, but now we wanna go to the wireframe. I wanted to use the top navbar. So the navbar is the entire screen, and we have a hamburger menu right here. So if you press the button below, you can see what codes it wants. So as you can see, the MUD theme provider and we're just gonna copy this one. And we can just paste it over here. I'm not sure why they want to. And they also have this. Let's see how that looks. This looks a little bit weird, but this looks very good. So this works. So this is this code. So let's see how that works. So this this function changes this to false or to true, but depending on what the previous value was. And then if we check here, on click, it's gonna trigger this one. So that's gonna open it or close it. For us, we have an application. So let's change that to top food. And they have an icon. I think that's that one. Let's see what it is. A lot of stuff. I'm not sure. And here's the drawer. Oh, this is drawer. This is the 3 dots right here. So now we have everything, but I do want to remove this one as we're not using it anymore. Delete this one, and we can add the nav menu. Nav menu. Let's make it self-closing. Let's see if everything still works. It is in here. It doesn't look pretty, but it's now displaying here. It's displaying top food. We'll look at changing our logo here. and I'm so just gonna check the GitHub page, and I closed that. GitHub slash topdev slash topfood slash issues or projects. Go to the full issue. Yeah, so I already defined like the colors. So if we go to MudBlazor, usage, no, customization, theming, we can change like the default black. That's not too important, but we can change the primary. And for we do that, I want to make use of the code behind. So I'm gonna create a new class called main hello main layout dot eraser dot cs. This dot eraser makes it nest under this one, and we make this a partial class. So basically this main layout is also a class, and now we have a class with the same name, and because we use partial, it's basically the same class. So now we can do this. We can make this a private boolean and make this public. As you can see, the function works again. So we can provide it a theme. So it's a mud theme. So let's create a new property, prop mud theme, called mud theme. And let's just set it. Now you see that we can define different stuff, but for now the colors are enough. So we're going to the palette. Palette equals new palette. And we want the primary. And let's go to our GitHub page, as we already wrote down the codes right here. I am wondering what this one looks like, if it has the yeah, we need to use this sign. So let's go back here, copy this one, create a string. Secondary is gonna be this one. And the background is gonna be this one. And I have one more app bar background. I also want to set the app bar background to the same color as the primary. Let's move it here. And I also want to set the background gray. And I see I didn't update it right here. Did I update it here? I didn't. Let's go to colors.com. I hope. Nope, this is not it. Colors. No, not .com. Coolers.co. Howdy, yeah, howdy. Generate. I'm sorry, my hair is really long. It's getting kinda annoying. And copy this one for the yeah, this should be the gray one, not with the dollar sign, with this one, and this should be this one, the white. So this one is for like cards, so it doesn't really have a background, but there's a small difference in color. And now we can go here and set the theme to MudTheme. So let's run it again. You can see the color changed and the background also changed a little bit. So that all looks pretty good. Maybe we can app bar. What's the app bar? No, we want the nav bar. Nav menu. So let's go in here. Can remove everything, as we already had that covered in the main one. Paste it all in here, and I'm gonna do .NET watch run. There was still one running. I believe it's closed now. Very nice. All the foods. We don't need a secondary. Be like the home. Like this. Good. So I believe we have our team set up. So what we did was we installed it with .NET install MudBlazor. We made sure that we loaded in the CSS, the font, and the JavaScript. Here we see the. We made sure that the services were available and the components by adding the using, and then we just applied the main style. So edit MudBlazor with MudBlazor layout. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Or if you have any suggestions, opinions, anything of that sort. So now that we pushed our changes, we are gonna merge MudBlazor into main. Let's also push that. Let's also make sure those are pushed. So if you guys want to see them, you can. Like so. And now we want to look at the projects and update this on recipe card, and we have the recipe title card. Let's start with this one. So for this one, we basically want to create this page. We want to create a card with a title, a description, like a card frame, and maybe a heart that triggers an event that can be toggled. So I like to create that we didn't. Let's create a new branch tree recipe title cards. Very good. Like you can see here, I always like to create a folder containing components and want another one for recipes. Let's call it recipe. Yeah, a recipe, because it's a single one for now. But normally this doesn't work. So we gonna add a using, add top food.blazor components recipe. The namespace doesn't exist, and that is correct because we didn't create our Blazor component yet. So we're gonna call it recipe title cards. And if we check the imports now, it also has one. Because a folder doesn't really exist for .NET, but the namespace does. So let's also create a new class for it. Recipe title card component.razor.cs. So normally you see the namespaces here. The Razor components do have them, but you don't really see them. But they're based on where they're located from the main projects. Let's remove this one. And for now, just go to the index page and recipe title cards. Let's make it self-closing. So as you can see, it now loads in. So this allows us to basically design it. I always like to do it on the main page. Stuff like this, as it's really easy to design. And later you can just make a page for it and make sure they're all in the correct location. So let's go to MudBlazor and check out the cards. So we want the cards so it's a little bit elevated. It has like nice rounded corners, and it's a little bit more white or darker than the background. As we can see, we want a header. So this one is in the right direction. It also has an icon, but we want a smaller description under it and also an image. So this has an image. Oh, we basically want this and removing this. So as we can see, we remove this one. Mud card. We start with a mud card. We start with an header. And in that header is a card header avatar. We don't want that one because this is the small circle. But we want the card header content. Card header content. And in there we want mud text. I don't care about your null reference exception. And insert title for here. And we wanna, let's do that later. To see the difference, what it exactly does. I never worked with MudBlazor, so we will see the description. So it created a card containing the entire page. So let's see if we can with the API. No. The grid. You also have flex boxes. Charge, breadcrumbs, app bar alerts, buttons, pickers, tooltip. Not really. So go to our index page. I just want a flexbox in the middle. But this also works for now. And maybe margin. Hello, search function. Nothing. Spacing. Ah, here's flex. Yeah, I just want this one. Let's not use the grid, but use the flex box. And let's see here. Margin. What's padding? Padding. Padding. Margin right 16. Margin top. Margin top 6. And let's recipe title cards. Let's see how it works. Yep. Now we see better what we are doing. Yeah. Cards. Custom. And that is just a mud card. And it's not in the header. Nope. That's not displaying. Let's just grab an image this looks good enough. Copy address. So we'll change that later and make it dynamic for it for now. Let's see how it works. So the height is forced, but maybe we want to set the width. Okay, that doesn't have a width. Let's see how it looks. The height. Title, image, height. We don't need text and we want to change that one. Look at the, maybe we can search for it, media. Mud cards. No. Media. And we want we'll check out to set the height later. And we want to set the action, and that is in the marked code header but not in the marked contents. And we want material I'm just walking through it as you guys are. I hope that is okay. Mid icons. Icons. Yes. Wait, I believe it was also displayed. So let's go back to the cards. Right here. Favorites. And I think I want outlines. Outlines dot favorites. Let's not use a flexbox. Let's. I know I said I wanted to use flexbox, but I just want it. Class. I do want it to margin top. and I also want the vertical padding, and then we want to have a mid item, and it was the grid. Let me. How did we do that? Mid item XS. Three. Let's copy this one. Make it 5. Make this 2. And put this one in it. And let's close the mid grid. How do you look? Very nice. What do you guys think of this? Does it look somewhat good? The food does look kind of good, but mostly the donuts. I do. Looking good, very good. I do want to change the color to the secondary. And we had it outlined, right? Favorite border, maybe? Yes. Very nice. Now let's make sure this is dynamic, and this is dynamic, and this is dynamic. But before we do that, I'm gonna take a small break, stretch my legs, grab something to drink. So I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll play some ads. This makes sure that new people that join the stream don't get it when there's content. And as I'm away, there's not much to see. So I hope you guys don't mind that, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back, and also welcome to Icarus HQ. Thank you for the follow. How is it going this night? I really appreciate all the follows. So if you aren't a follower yet, feel free to hit that follow button. Icarus HQ. What's your what do you think of Blazor? Have you ever used it before? And if so, do you like it? So we just created a new card component with the title in it. As you can see here, this is still hard-coded, so we're gonna change that. We created a new folder, and we're gonna create a new class, and we're gonna call it a recipe model. Ikara says, yes, I have. What do you think of it? Did you try it in a small project, big project? And we just started a new project here. We finished another one called to-do at thopdev.com. You can visit it. You can log in with one of the authentications. And then you have a to-do tab. You have multiple lists, multiple writes and stuff. And it's all in Azure Functions. But now we are on a new project. We want to make this a really big project. Like if you really would create something like this, maybe I will even really create it. But yeah, like a real world scenario for Blazor. That's what we're trying to achieve here. So we decided that a recipe should have a title, description, no, this should be a string, of course. Oh. Description, small unit converter dot I believe you can post links in here. I don't have that block, I just ban everybody. But this well, doesn't really look. Oh, I got an ad. That looks really cool. Nice. Looks really cool. So we had a description, a title, on string. No, we want to create a model for images. Image, do we want that? No, not for now. We want public string image URL and public string, no, boolean, liked, no, favorite. So now we wanna add the new folder called services. And we wanna have a recipe service. So this is gonna be used to retrieve the model, but for now we're just gonna remove a static model, not static, but like, yeah, or probably it's gonna be static. But then once we change to HTTP, we can change that. So let's public recipe, public recipe model, get a recipe by ID, string ID, return. I want to make this a task. Is that in the future it's all gonna be a task. No, I'm not gonna use async. I don't like that. Return new recipe model. Not new task. Task dot completed task. No, task dot from results. That's what it. New recipe model. Very nice and very nice food. It smells amazing. The title is gonna be Donuts and More. And the image URL is gonna be the one we already had. Do I still have it here? Yes, I have. Nice. And now I'm gonna refactor it using resharper and extract the interface from it. For now, it can be in the same file. Later, we'll remove it. Icarus, do you have any current working with Blazor? Or was it just that? And do you like it? Recipe surface. Let's call it faker. Tessie says, of John Tess. Should I just call you Jan? Or I don't know how to pronounce that in English, but also Engstrom Jimmy, welcome to the club. Hope you have an amazing night. How are you doing? And how do you like Blazor? Let's remove those as we're not using it. Let's add. Tessie is fine. It's easy to pronounce. Very good. Faker and then true. What is... I forgot how we use that. See, yeah. If if debug, what was it? Sure, let's do it like this. Now we can could easily switch. Once we remove it with services that add service scoped I recipe service and recipe faker. For now we're going to our main page, to the index. Let's... Hello. Yeah. Partial. Prop I recipe service on initialize async private recipe model recipe equals recipe service dot get recipe async. Let's insert it. And let's not return that. And let's wait it. Oh, wrong modifier. We didn't change anything yet. And now for the, let's move this here and make this self-closing. Recipe equals and let's go here and have a parameter recipe model recipe. Now recipe dot title recipe dot description and recipe dot hello. And if a recipe that favorite, I removed too much. It's really annoying. Ah, it's just color. No, I don't want to change the color. I want to change the icon. Recipe dot favorites. But I don't want the border, and otherwise we want it like that. The name recipe doesn't exist in index. Hello. Oh. All right. And we should do an if recipe does not equal null. Oh, maybe we can do that on the other place and have like loaders. I'm not sure how that works. Donuts are amazing. Very nice food. It smells amazing. That looks all very good. Now let's check out loader. Loading. Tessie, do you know because I believe they have like those skeleton? Yeah, skeleton. Okay, so that means we don't want this one here, but maybe do like this recipe dot if recipe equals null. Else if recipe let's do public boolean loaded recipe does not equal null. If loaded, then display this one, and otherwise and we want a height of 250. Else await task.delay. Let's give this 3 seconds and make this async. Object reference is not an instance of an object. Recipe title card components. Does it now work? Hello? Think I broke it. Pixels. Yeah, I want like that heart. I don't need the animation. To remove those classes. It looks pretty good, nice. I do. What happens when I do this 100? What do you guys think? I think that looks pretty amazing. Is it also do like that it's not instant right now, but maybe a little bit slower. This because normally your app would also need to load, and now you can see how that will look. I think that looks really cool. Now we need to change this one, and that is it for now. So let's go to the oh, sorry, public void favorite click. Recipe.favorites. Let's go to the component here. And let's give it Blazor events. Now I want my own event. What was that again? Already on callback. It was the event callback, I believe. So let's go here. Parameter public event callback on a recipe change. Let's make it get set. And to make sure that it works, let's go to the index page. On recipe chains, and that's console.writeLine recipe has changed. Let's open the console here. Let's clear this. And this doesn't work because we didn't trigger it yet. So we go to a recipe card component. And after we change it, we go to the on recipe changed that invoke async, and we don't want any parameters. And this returns a task, so let's await it. And let's make this an async task. And as you can see, now it does work. Very nice. Let Let me see this one. That looks fine. I'm not sure why it's not picking up this faker, but sure. Oh, this is environmental variable. I thought you could set them here, but that's fine. So I think this is we completed this feature. So let's quickly go through what we changed. We created the recipe card component with the front end and the back end. We made sure that when it's not loaded yet, we're loading the mud skeleton. We made sure that there's the recipe, an event callback for when we press the favorite. Maybe this is gonna change some favorite press, but that's something for later. Loaded, so when the recipe is not loaded, that the skeleton can be projected. And then when the favorite is pressed. Rest, we made the model for this. We made sure that there's an index page for it that loads the service. For some reason we changed the launch settings, not gonna commit those. We created a recipe service. We made sure that the component is in the imports, and we added the service for it. So we all gonna commit this one. It's added recipe title cards. Commit. Let's push. Let's, yeah, this card changed this one. Ah, that was that one, of course. Yeah, true. That was what we changed, but that didn't work, so fine. So we created, we pushed the main and the recipes. So if you like the project or want to check out how we do something, you can go to github.topdev.topfoot, and you can see all the branches here. I don't want to release this, but may create new release. Stream 1. Stream 1. No, I don't want, I want tags. Okay. I never used it. I have a PR. What? You need a better loader. Uh-oh. Let's check it. Ah, file changes here. I'm not really too good with PRs in GitHub, but I get by him. So he changed make sure that it's in the center. You changed the loader itself, and you made sure it spins. It does look good. There's one. No, it's fine. Review. Approve. Thank you for the pretty loader. Our Steely says, yes, new loaders. Can we upload some animations for the loader in the last project? Right now, not. Maybe we'll do that in the future. Approved and merge. So let's check out. Let's pull the main. Now we can see the change and let's see how it looks. It's way too quick. Ooh. Wait, isn't it merged in it already? Weird. Ah, that's the problem. And because it's a PBA, it's way too quick to load. Yeah, there it is. Nice. Thank you for the contribution. And it's finally centered, yes. It took an entire project, but now it's centered. That's amazing. So I had this one basically, but I think I'm gonna redo it. And why can I not search here? Already hate this. Oh, here I can filter. Oh, I did have it blend. There was something wrong. So I basically wanted to have a full-fledged project. So we should add some bUnit to it. So we're gonna add a new project and let's make that a little bit smaller. And go to, before we do that, let's switch our branch. Create new branch. And let's call it 4. Is it 4? I'm not sure. It's called 10 bUnits. So the reason I create all those branches is that you guys can visit it. So you can find the state that watch that PR or that branch was. And also for the YouTube viewers, that's easier to check it out. So now we are gonna create a new project and we're gonna use XUnit, C#, and we're gonna call it Thop food.blazor.bUnit. And I want .NET 5. We press create. It wants to create an solution, so we made sure that it is pasted at the correct place. And let's open bUnit. I'm just gonna check one thing before committing it. Oh, it's called bUnit, not capital bUnit. Okay. This is the point that you still can delete stuff like that. So let's remove the folder, because that doesn't get deleted when you remove it. So when get started, we just need to create a new XUnit project and add those two to them. Sounds easy enough. If I don't screw up the name. Thop. I'm gonna do it like that. Also, for the people that are still here, give me a second and I have a small preview, because I went and ordered a small logo. On Fiverr. And this is it. I hope you guys like this. So this is the first one. I requested some changes. I wanted the fork to have less spikes and maybe a little bit wider, so it would be better viewable on smaller size. And I wanted this should be a pen, but it really looks like a magnifying glass. So I requested if she could make maybe with 2 handles or something else. And the other design that she had was this one. Also pretty good, pretty cool, but a little bit simple and really high. I really like this one if we change a few things. And maybe I would ask if she would make an inverted one that we could add in our bar. What do you guys think of it? Manage NuGet packages. Let's. Our Stelius thinks they're awesome. That's very good to hear. Include pre-release. We needed the web. Tessie says, yes, it looked like a magnifying glass, but otherwise awesome. Yeah. It really does. Like, once you think about it, you know it's a pen, but yeah, you don't need to think about the logo. So I thought like cooking pen, like a pen like this one. Like those kind of pens, like with the two handles. Maybe something like that. I suggested, and she is working on it. So I'm really curious what it is. So we installed 2 packages for XUnit. This is not really important. We should. Of course, we need to add or. Oh, I could just use the templates, but. Design is a joke, but when you need to explain it, it's bad. Yeah. That's a really nice metaphor. But this coding then also a joke, because when you need to explain it, it's also a joke. Oh no, it's also bad. So we referenced our project. I'm gonna remove this default test. And I'm gonna create a folder called components. Class, and that's gonna called recipe. Public effects. Public voids. We test something. Let's change that later. Test. Let's see how it's just writing razor. Important. Can we also do this in codes? verifying component states. I'm just trying. Maybe we should check out the Blazor ones, but for now, let's use the normal ones. This is by. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that like this. Oh, we should not. This should not be called get recipe. Let's remove that. That should be called a folder called recipe. Title card. No, that was the recipe title card component tests. Let's add chat back to the screen. Let's make it public. Fact. Public void test something. And test context base. Let's see, here it is. Test, no, not the base. We just need to test context. Is that correct? Var x equals a new test. What package did I added? Both of them, right? X unit. I didn't add core. I'm sorry for that. Let's bUnit. And we needed web. Now that looks way better. Var component equals render component. Recipe title card component. Those should all be null. Let's see how the markup looks. Pretty. I'm wondering about that. So they're just classes and spawns. Good, that match markup. No components dot bind all, and that contains if we go back to the page, we should have refresh, still running. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Run. That's a success. So that means this works. Component dot. So now I want to check if we can add a new parameter after it is already rendered. Render components. I don't want to re-render. I don't want to render it new. Component dot invoke async. No mark render. New components. Name of and then that should equal 0. It even works. works? That's amazing. Skeleton loading test. Values correct set test name of fake title constant string title equals width dot hello width dot var title equals GUID dot new GUID. Description equals GUID dot new. Because I don't care. Maybe later we'll add something like auto picture, but for now this is fine. Description is description. Titles title. And we still need to call to string. To string. And the last one, image URL let's do it like that. And now I want to see verify markup. And I want ignore case, no. Like I want to ignore stuff. maybe we can do that later. Component expected markup. Component that markup matches expected. This should not be correct. Yeah, but I don't care about those things. I just want to... This one. Is that possible? Otherwise, we're gonna do this test differently, and I'm... But doesn't it care about this one? It just ignores that one? Has anyone used the bUnit before? Then I'm gonna do it like this. I cannot find what I'm teaching you as we speak. Also, there was a small thing I still wanted to do, but I forgot. And that was in here. Because in the mid text, we have the typo body one. Typo. It checks, maybe. Oh, that looks a little bit better. Yeah, nice. Maybe check out what 2 is. I don't really see the difference. Maybe what's 5 is that a little... I don't see the difference. Very well. Deflux. Hey, but have you done Azure Functions with B2C with Blazor Wasm? I'm struggling. Lol. But it's kind of difficult thing, I think. It kind of depends. What are you struggling with? We didn't use the Azure Functions B2C. That's the Azure AD, right? B2C. I believe it is, yeah. So the authentication and the authorization with get that over to Azure Functions and get the data to return. And I didn't use it. But yeah, we used Azure static web apps before. No, we used the easy out deflux. But we used easy out, and if you if you go to to-do list Twitch demo and you go to the Azure Functions, no, Azure portal.azure. To-do app.site. I'm not sure where you can see the cost of this one, but it's completely free. You get an Azure Functions and a static web app. Like, you can go here and you can just see it. And now we have the easy out. And this basically sends us to an URL. So that's easy out Azure Functions. And just go to that URL. It also has Azure Active Directory. But you do need the Azure Static Web Apps, I think. I'm not sure if other ones have it. And you can check. Give me a second to see it here. I believe in our to-do app we have a routes.json. And we can also like authenticate it. So everyone that wants to talk to the API needs to be authenticated. So that makes it already, and then you can also have roles and stuff. But that's that you need to do that through the Azure Static Web App. But you can also, what we did was, let me see. Factories, no. Functions, properties, constant automapper, app settings. Yeah, we had we have two ones, a debug out service, as you cannot use the easy out on your local host. So this returned just like a user for us. But we also have the out service, and I'll share that with you. That basically checks the headers for the XMS client principal, and it makes sure you read it. You can like remove this one, and you need to make the client principal, but you can find it all on the GitHub. And if you have any questions, message me to Twitch or Twitter, and I'll try to respond as quickly as possible. Yeah, no problem at all. Appreciate you being here. That's mainly the reason I do the streaming without any people that are talking or here. Isn't that fun? And if I can help anyone, that's sometimes I also would like to be helped. So if everybody helps each other, then I think we can all have an amazing time. Now we can select the h6 dot text. Assert dot equal title. That seems to be correct. Now we need to find this one. It's the only paragraph, I think. Maybe we should elements. Let's do it like and this should have the child of h6. I believe this is how it works. And this should be the description. Run it. Edit, assert, image equals component dot find oh wait, it's not really an image. That's kind of weird. Do we have to like user attributes? Okay. I don't really want to check this on the background. That's fine for now. So that's bUnit added. I do want to continue this, like have small tests, so if we ever break something. And I think this isn't on the right location. Open repository. The repos top dev. This isn't in the right location. This should be in here. Damn it. Select folder. Is this gonna break? No. That went way too well. So we just added the text and improved this a little bit. I don't want to discard everything. Stage everything. And stage. Edit a bUnit and set correct text typo. Commit all. Can I see the text? Can I update them? Delete. Delete from remote. I'm just gonna create a... I'm never really used with text, but I think this stream 1 end of the stream of the first stream. If you have any suggestions about how to improve the visibility for new viewers and stuff like that, first stream. And let's also update the projects. We got everything we want this stream. So let's move them to done, so we can add them later. For next stream, we're gonna have some more of the profile cards or of the recipe cards. And maybe even some other stuff. And no, I want this one. I want to see the and let's see, 2. Let's space, 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 space. I believe that's how you do that. Nice. So now you can I'll make this a little bit prettier later. And I still need to merge this in, merge into main, pull and push. So this is gonna be it for today's stream. I hope everybody had a wonderful time, maybe even learned something. Or it could be of help. Oh, I see that now bUnit is not added anymore. Let's switch back to bUnit and fix that really quickly. Existing project top dev top food top blazor.bUnit. And I also want to let's do that like, I believe you need to do that like this. Add new solution folder Blazor. And let's move those two in here. So for now it's not gonna have too much of an impact, but later it's a nice organizational use. Quick SLN fix. Commit all and push. And then merge into. So that's gonna be it for today's stream. I hope everybody had an amazing night. If you have any suggestions, ideas, or anything in the trend, feel free to message me on Twitter, Twitch, or wherever you can find me. I really appreciated everybody being here. I stream every Monday and Wednesday from 7 till 10 p.m. CAT. It's now 10 before 10 in my time. So that's mostly my region. I hope to see you all next stream. Have a great night, and I'll see you all later.